What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to another episode. DJ Reacts. We got a banger for you. We got a lot of stuff, a lot of weird stuff going on right now in 2024. So, as a disclaimer, this is for entertainment purposes only. Don't believe anything that I say. Don't believe anything that you see on these videos. Do your own research. And, it's important to do your own research. I've said it many times, but nobody can know everything, and my whole job is awareness, making people aware. And the more people that do their research, the more people can come to other conclusions that, you know, others may not have, and we can spread that awareness and learn from it. So it's extremely important that you do your own research. But yeah, if you're liking this, you know, do me a favor, smash that like, subscribe, comment. I love talking to you all. Somebody said they were having problems with my audio, so I dropped the mic down a bit. Appreciate that tip. I did not know about it, and that's what I mean. Comment, interact. I love interacting with you all. On that note, let's get into it.
Speaking of alien technology, did you see that video of those 10-foot creatures in Brazil that was actually caught on video?
I did see those.
Dude,
wild.
Look at this, Lil. They're moving, and there's one where it's like walking down the mountain.
It looked really tall.
Yikes.
But then there is one in Mexico as well. Look at that thing.
Oh, it looks similar.
It's huge.
There's a lot of things happening in different places all the way across the world. You can't coordinate that.
Then this one was in Canada. It looks just like the one in California.
Yeah.
Right?
That one's weird, dude.
And then a couple of them in Chicago.
Those are weird.
And then watch them zoom off.
Golly, dude. Those things are moving fast.
That's demonic.
It's weird, right?
Weird.
You need to check out the one that happened in Mexico. It's
Oh, this
literally
is in
this thing
Mexico?
flying down the road, just like gliding. And it's changing colors.
Ooh, what?
That's like really good footage.
It's just like signs.
Dude,
Swing away.
what's going on?
I'm gonna go buy a drone, hang little prisms off it, and just start flying it around your house.
Take a look at this new alien footage that was captured around January 5th, 2024 on a small island named Mel in Brazil. The residents captured 3 alien beings on top of one of the little hills and coming down. Could this truly be ETs, or is this something else? Now, I would like to note that they have noted and stated several times in their videos that this is an area that is not accessible by a normal person. Take a look at this footage and tell me what you think.
Você consegue captar as vibrações? Vem até nós. Ou não vem à noite.
Mano, pior que mexe esquisito demais.
Ele parece. Sabe aquele.
Só flash da grande.
Mexe. Ó, ele tá no meio do morro. Olha ali, olha ele no meio do morro.
Ele vai ser camufladão,
A gente tá no quilômetro e meio daqui, né? Olha só, ele tá descendo agora. Tá descendo. Ó. Cara, menos de um minuto. Olha só.
Não, gente, vamos.
Não, olha lá. E como que se fosse um macaco? Tá conseguindo ver ele ainda?
Aham.
Em direção a essa pedra. Continua descendo.
Tá no zoom máximo aqui.
Continua descendo. Continua descendo. Cara, faz 2 minutos que ele desceu do topo.
Ele desceu muito rápido.
Olha as passadas dele, o tamanho.
E ele tem trilho?
Não. Putz,
Não,
é um
sumiu.
gigante. Não, eu tô vendo aí, é um gigante
Como ele
mesmo.
falou, é uma milagre. Ele tá descendo.
É um gigante mesmo. Não, ele vai pra algum lugar, velho. É.
Gente, olha o tamanho do cara lá.
Olha a rapidez, olha a rapidez. Caiu atrás da pedra.
Con el mío sí se alcanza a ver bien, güey. Ahorita se los paso.
that's the same clip we've seen in a lot of other videos. I don't think that one is real because when the guy is looking up and then zooms in, it just pops up that same video we've seen of what looks like a seraphim with the eye in the middle. And even though that's supposed to depict, you know, a seraphim angel, I do not think they would be just sitting there floating in the sky, you know, like that, visible to everyone. You know, I just don't believe it. I think that's just complete BS. But let's move on, see what we can see.
Shape-shifting demon caught on video.
Okay, so this was the flood they had in Brazil right after the recent carnival celebrating Satan. Now look very closely and you'll see what looks like a window shapeshift into a black shadow demon. It kind of looks like a bat. And we're gonna watch this in regular motion, in slow motion, and then in super slow motion, and tell me what you think this is.
What do you guys think? Do you think that that was a window that shifted into a demon? I think that was probably just a tinted window that got hit at the bottom by all of that water that's flooding, and it just collapsed and went with the current. That's what I think. That just sounds like they're reaching to me, but let me know what you think. You might have another opinion.
Giant
These
aliens landed in
were
Brazil.
super tall.
Full videos.
We need the U.S. to come help us. I don't know why they're ignoring us. We've been saying that aliens are here. They've landed. We see them every day. Today it came down closer, and you can clearly see. You can see them near my town. Please, if anybody in the U.S. can see this, share this. Let them know what's going on down here. And they look like Jeepers Creepers. They stand around, they look at us. We don't know what to do. Our town is terrified. Just and look at them. It's horrific. My people are scared. We're all scared. We don't know what to do. Just if maybe you know that like the skinwalkers, UFOs, giants, and everything else that you hear about, it's all real. They even look down at us like giants. And on the snow, they don't have no fear of weather. They look down at us from the snowy mountains. I don't know if they are just share this. Maybe TMZ will show this. TikTok, anything at this point. Anyone, just get this out, please.
Follow to see more.
I feel real bad for that guy. He seems like he's really been going through something, and like the whole area that he's from has been going through something. I truly do feel bad for him, but don't ask the US for help. They don't even know what to do about their own shit. they have so many damn things going on. There's no way they can help. But I do want to go back and look at that one that white thing real quick.
If maybe you know that like the skinwalkers, UFOs, giants, and everything else that...
You see that? I don't know if that's real or not. I just thought that was probably the strangest things on this video. I mean, the last shots were obviously that mountain and what was it, Phoenix or something that the guy took, and then he came out and did all those videos. But yeah, I feel bad for this guy. There's strange things going on, you know, and very strange things going on, and it seems like there's so much we need to be prepared for this year with all of the just weird shit going on. You know, you want to be safe. You want to be keep your loved ones and family safe, but you also want to keep your ear to the ground and know what's coming. And you just got to sift through all of the BS to actually see that, because there's so many disinformation or misinformation campaigns going on. And I've said this in other videos. Our governments have, you know, departments with these disinformation and misinformation campaigns. You know, they have specific departments. You know, I've seen them personally. I've seen an entire department. This was years ago. I've seen entire departments searching Facebook, and going through there and finding topics that people are talking about. And then, you know, you've got 30 to 50 people that are posting the opposite of what someone else is trying to post the truth about. So I've seen this in real time, in person, and it's actually real. So, you know, they try to keep us in the dark, but, you know, we've got too much light to stay in the dark.
Mano, que é aquilo ali no céu, velho? Fala pra mim. Que é aquilo ali no céu, mano? Vocês estão vendo o que eu tô vendo? Ó. Dá uma olhada. Mano do céu, fala sério.
This man just released the clearest photograph of the creature that was allegedly seen in Miami. Oddly enough, the man said the strange thing about this encounter was how in one of the photographs the creature appears to be transparent, and this matches what other residents have said. One resident said that this creature that was seen suddenly became transparent and appeared see-through, while another said that they tried to follow it, but it suddenly vanished. He was running away from the area at the time of the encounter, which is why the photographs are blurry. Interestingly, many have said that this isn't the first time that strange entities and sightings have been reported from this area, while others are not sure what to make of it. On social media, police officers have come forward and said that nothing was sighted, but other officers have said that they've been told that they can't talk about what happened. According to locals, they are currently facing encounters with mysterious entities, standing at an imposing height of 8 feet, bearing a striking resemblance to large grey or insectoid entities. Recently, a man stepped forward and claimed to have had a video call with his father, who currently serves as a police officer in Miami. During the conversation, the son probed his father about the events that unfolded in Florida. However, the father disclosed that, at present, he is unable to divulge any specific details regarding the incident. Moreover, He mentioned that higher-ranking individuals have instructed him not to disclose anything. This testimony sheds light on the delicate nature of the situation and the strict confidentiality measures in place. It implies that there may be more to the story that is being deliberately kept under wraps for now. In a rather peculiar turn of events, yet another member of the police force has resorted to social media to share an intriguing revelation. This particular officer disclosed that the enigmatic creature in question was actually captured on camera from a different angle. Like his fellow colleagues, he reiterated the constraint of non-disclosure imposed upon him, making it clear that divulging any details regarding the incident was strictly forbidden.
This message is being broadcast by the Department of Defense of the Republic. At 2 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, multiple unidentified.
I completely think that was Project Bluebeam. The other one might have been too. We did hear about, you know, those people in that little town in Peru where they had the face peelers, and they were talking about how they had on these suits and then these boots that had a red light to them that allowed them to levitate a little bit off the ground, like a couple of feet. And also, when the locals would take up arms and fire upon them, you know, they would just vanish, disappear. And then you've got the one guy that captured one in his backyard, in his garden, and it's in one of my videos. You know, he just pretty much saw his entire backyard light up like daylight, but much brighter. And he goes out there, and all that light is shining from one source, from a being, and he captures all of it perfectly. It's like, you know, finally somebody had like an S23 or something, you know, got some good footage. But this right here, I've seen various videos on craft going above the White House, and, you know, I wouldn't doubt that it's happened, but I don't think that one happened, you know. But Project Bluebeam is not only a holographic project, but you're able to slightly touch them. Like, you can't touch hard, but it's going to look real and feel real, to where you can actually touch in a certain sense them. And I don't know how that works. I honestly don't. I don't know how you can physically touch a hologram, but from everything I've read, you know, yeah, you're able to touch them and it feels real, but not as real as you touching a normal person. So that's the scary part about it. But then you also have to be looking for, you know, where is the projection coming from? You know, because you can't just project stuff everywhere. So the projection has to be coming from somewhere. But there's so many different facets to this that, you know, I just don't. I haven't seen it in person, so I can't really comment too much on, you know, exactly what it is or how it works. You know, I know how holograms work, obviously, and I know how holographic technology works, you know, in Hollywood. I understand that completely. But I don't understand how they could project that anywhere, because you have to have equipment, you know. You'd have to have something transmitting that from a specific location, and then wherever this is going to be seen, you'd have to have receivers at that specific location. Or it could project to that location without a receiver, but then without a receiver, you would see the line of where it's projecting from. So with a receiver there, it would just project to the receiver and be there. Or you can't see my hands. It would project from the receiver and be there. But then without a receiver, it would just project there. Just like if you had a projector in your house. you don't have a receiver, so you can see the light projecting, you know, your video onto your screen or your wall. But if there's a receiver there, it would project, and then there would be a receiver right there at the wall, and then it would play it on the wall. So you would never see that. You would never see that line. So those are the only ways that I know of. But you know, I'm sure there's stuff that I don't know about it. I'm just saying. I'm just speaking on what I know about, you know, holographic technology. It's gotten very advanced within the past like 7 or 8 years, but it wasn't anything nearly what it is now. So I'm just curious about, you know, if that's Project Bluebeam, because there's going to be a lot of Project Bluebeam. There has been a lot of Project Bluebeam happening, and so, and that's the thing, you know, they're trying to make this, they're trying to make all of this seem like, you know, it's an outside force, so they can enact these laws, you know, like martial law and all of these things. We'll get into that later, but there's a reason behind all of this. Trust that.
Here. Look. You need to get the boys. Did the kids come out to look?
Yeah, like how did that
Did you see it though when it was over here? It looked so crazy. It looked like it's on fire.
Here.
I don't think that's it. That sound comes from over there.
That's the noise, isn't it?
What the heck? Look at it, boy. Look at it. Look at it. That don't even look normal.
It really looks like a hole in
It like it turned into a spirit.
You know, that's strange because the Pentagon has already admitted that there's a mothership in our galaxy, and they admitted this 2 years ago. You know, so never know. That didn't look fake to me because you can see it going behind the clouds. So, I don't know. Might not be fake. finally, someone with the fucking S23. Somebody with an actual good phone. Have no clue what that is, but we're seeing flying beings all over the planet lately. We're seeing this a lot. We've been seeing it for years, but it's become more prevalent within the past few years. And it's not people on jetpacks. It's not, you know, science even disproves that it's someone on a jetpack. Like when you see them over water, jetpack is not going to allow you to go that far out and that far up and then just remain going slowly like that. There's not enough fuel for a human to be able to either strap on or build upon or carry to do all of that. So yeah, that's interesting. That's really interesting.
Government worker talks about tall white extraterrestrials living amongst us in Ontario, Canada. I've spotted these beings before.
Tell us about these tall whites they're seen in Ontario and in other parts of the planet. I don't know if you know about this, but these tall whites have been seen in public.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
Is that an extraterrestrial?
Yeah. My understanding is they're a hybrid offshoots of the Zeta Reticulans, and that they created a human Zeta hybrid that are, again, these tall whites that are an intermediary for them. They can be friendly, but apparently they're kind of hypersensitive, and so you can find yourself, you know, on the wrong end of a beam weapon if you offend them or step on someone's toes or step in their path the wrong way or standing in the wrong place at the wrong time. They have some weird social protocols that my understanding people who interact with them on a regular basis have to be very clearly briefed upon, or serious injury could befall them.
How many hybrids do you think are actually out there on the surface?
That's got to be in the tens of thousands or upwards of 100,000 or more. I wouldn't have specific numbers on that right now, but it's got to be a lot.
Okay, so I actually live in Ontario, Canada, and I've spotted people like this before. When I first saw these people, I was like, damn, that's a really tall white person, really white and really good looking. But what called me first was their energy. It was so unworldly. It's like I knew right away they couldn't be from here, but I automatically thought, okay, maybe starseed, right? But as I started looking into extraterrestrials more, I was like, these people match the description of what I've been studying. I saw one at Lime Ridge Mall, and then I saw one at Home Hardware in Hamilton. And the crazy part is, he says if you spot one, they'll either hunt you down psychically or they'll let you know that you got them. And with me, it was with a smile. They both, even though it was on different days, they both gave me this corner smile and like telepathic message. It was so weird. It's so hard to explain. And they knew I caught them because I am so sensitive to energy. I could not stop staring at them. I was like, yo, like this guy's so unworldly. And he was already looking at me with that corner smile, like he knew that I was gonna know. I've had more experiences with these people, but the fact that government officials have come out and said that beings like this are publicly seen in Ontario is wild. Subscribe to my YouTube if...
What do you guys think about this? I truly want to know your thoughts on this, because you have a lot of different people coming out talking about their experiences with these tall whites. If you look up Val Valiant Thor, he was a tall white, and he was in the Pentagon. He was in the government, and they actually locked him up, and he left his cell, and people were seeing him all over the place. He spoke every language on the planet, and he was also telepathic and can do all kinds of stuff. This is not like a mystery or anything. This is scientific fact. The government actually documented all of this. Val Valiant Thor was his name. Spoke every single language. He was there with JFK. I mean, he was there for a long time, and he could do things, and you know, he could do things that people just weren't aware of at the time. And he might have been the precursor to the to whatever deals were made with the government, you know, because there's photos of him And that's one big thing that I hear about these tall whites is they're very androgynous looking, meaning they're good looking, but you can't tell if it's male or female because of how androgynous they look. So let me know what your thoughts are on it, if you've had any experiences. I've never seen one personally, but there's lots of different species of, things out there, so it wouldn't shock me at all for this to be true right now. That just reminded me of something. There's this video, there's this woman, Lisa, something. She's a journalist, and specifically, she's got all of these government, uh, clients, that come out and talk to her, but she protects their anonymity. Uh, Even the government has tried to lock her up because they want to know who she's talking to know all of these things. I can't remember her name though. I used to watch her a lot, but anyways, you probably know who I'm talking about. But anyways, that guy that was talking about the tall whites, or not the black guy, but the white guy, he is from the secret space program, and he came out after Corey Good and a few other people, and then he came out, and I'm not sure what to make of that, because if you watch their earlier videos, they're just on webcam, and it was him and a woman talking about, the secret space program, this whole 30 and back thing, where you go 3 times, and each time you turn 30, you come back at 18 and do it again, and then do it 3 times. And he's talking about fighting insectoids on Mars and all of this stuff, and describing, how they went into it. And personally, I would need more proof. I mean, I would just need more proof. People have, done their research on these people, and they're like, no, dude, like 15 years ago, you were working at Hardee's, or they're like, there's factual evidence of them being liars. So I would need more proof. But then you got David Wilcox, who was there with Corey Good, and David Wilcox was trying to be like a journalist, kind of like the lady I'm talking about. I cannot remember her name for the life of me. Laura, Lisa, something, but great woman. She comes out with nothing but straight facts. She does not play around. She's been a journalist. She's older. She's been a journalist for a long time, and she's got her own clientele. But I remember David Wilcox coming out with Corey Good, and this whole thing, this whole secret space program thing came about. And and Corey Good didn't like being on camera, and that's where this guy, not this black dude, but the one before it, that's where he comes from. He came after the fact, and I remember David Wilcock was talking about ancient. He was on Ancient Aliens for a while, and then he said that they were trying to they were clipping what he was saying on Ancient Aliens, trying to make it seem like he was saying things that he wasn't saying. So they were creating a narrative based on what he was saying and just making it seem like he was saying things that he wasn't. So he backed off of that and left. And then he went to Gaia. And so then Gaia pretty much did the exact same thing. So Gaia came out, and I don't know if you've seen Gaia, but it's on Amazon Prime. And Gaia has a lot of interesting stuff, a lot of stuff that that's very true, very rational, and very real, but it's also mixed in with like that big fluff of BS that you've got to sift through, to get to the fucking truth. So they did the same thing to David Wilcox. They and people started saying that he was the likeness of I can't remember, Edward something, some guy from a long time ago that was like telepathic and very smart, and so he kind of took that and ran with it. And then from him bringing on Corey Good, and Corey Good talking about these downloads, then David Wilcox started talking about he was getting these downloads. And I know the downloads are real. Anybody can access the Akashic records or access, universal law and universal truths. It happens to everyone. There's people. It's happened to me many times. You just come from a place of knowing certain things, and it's not belief. You don't have to believe in anything. It's just knowing. For me, I was born remembering certain things, and then I've actually been unalive 3 times, and once for almost 2 hours where I woke up in a morgue. And not long after that, just all of these things I just knew, and I couldn't understand why. I just knew them. And also, I could do things that other people couldn't do. Nothing super spectacular, but things that are very noticeable that, other people couldn't do. And I had to very much pick and choose who I would show that to. Just like less than a handful of people have seen it. But then when they see it, it just fucks them up because they're like, they don't understand how I'm doing this. But back to the point, you could do that. All of us are able to do those things, right? So that's the whole point of, decalcifying your pineal gland, because we can do so much. And these evil, satanic, Luciferian, whatever you want to call them, elites that are in control of the world, they're coming from this low vibrational space. And right now, we're going through this transition. The whole planet is the planet itself, Earth, which is alive. It's a conscious being. Earth is a conscious entity as a planet, and it's going through this shift. And there's those of us that are going along with that shift as well. And so these things have never happened before. Ever. There's been a lot of cycles that have happened here, but this has never happened before. That's why it's an exciting time. But it's also a time to be very wary on what you see, and make sure that you're doing your research so that you can sift through all of this BS, because you've got people that are just coming out trying to say things for clout. You've got people that are, wanting to they're either a part of the misinformation, disinformation program, or they're trying to seek clout by claiming things that they can't prove, And I'm going to show you on here in a little bit. This guy just, fuck this guy. He sucks. But he's one of these guys. But I'll show you. In fact, I'll show that next. And but you've just got to be wary of who you're dealing with, what you're seeing, and do your research, But the main thing is you got to decalcify that pineal gland. You got to stop allowing fluoride. You got to stop using anything with chlorine and fluoride in it. Your water needs to be extremely pure. You can get a reverse osmosis machine for, $60 on Amazon. Filter all of your stuff, because and don't use plastics. And there's one video I'm about to bring up where they're talking about the benefits of copper. I do have a few copper just big large copper mugs with a top on it, pure copper, and I do drink from those most of the time. So yeah, just something to think about. But let's get on to it. I'll stop talking.
My name's not too important. I was an intelligence specialist in the military, and what I'm about to tell you, it's something that impacts literally everybody that's watching this right now. Whether you like my content, respect my content, like my page, this, that, and the other. What's getting ready to happen is really fucked up. We all there's stories, man, whether it's biblically or different religions about like the end of times, like if the world is going to end, if there's a huge disaster that like wipes out the face of the earth, you might be like scrolling through here and you have no clue who I am. But I've predicted like earthquake events that happen, like even something stupid as like lottery numbers, simply for the fact that people are like, hey, you predicted an earthquake, so try to predict some lottery numbers. And I did that.
I'm gonna go ahead and pause. Fuck this guy. He's full of shit. I'm just showing you who to be wary of. Fuck this guy. He's the guy that came out and he was trying to show that his pupils would shift into a reptilian, and then he was showing, you know, in his pool that like his bones were growing longer, and you know, a bone from his elbow, which has nothing to do with reptilian DNA, but you could tell he was, you know, he's got longer bones and a couple of knuckles, and you know, just it's just full of shit. And he's in his pool. I'm telling you, you can watch his content. I'm not gonna link it, but he's full of shit. His name's Real Shapeshift. Fuck this guy. I'm telling you what to be wary of. And you see how dramatic he is. Yeah, there's gonna be some fucked up shit happening this year. There's fucked up shit happening every year, but this year, yeah, it's gonna be a lot worse. But he has no idea. He has not predicted lottery numbers. He has not done any of this. There's no proof of any of that. I just want you to be wary. So sorry for pausing and blabbing, but I just want you to be aware of the foolishness that's out there that's trying to capture your attention and lie to you and all of this. Because people like me take certain things seriously. You know, I'm protecting my family. I'm protecting my loved ones. I'm making sure I have food in case, you know, an EMP hits us, you know, from a coronal mass ejection or a solar ray burst and knocks out all electricity. I'm making sure that I've got food for a while. I'm making sure that I've got, you know, a lot of weaponry, which I'm trained on. I'm making sure that, you know, I have what I need for my family and my loved ones in case something happens, you know. And if it's something like an asteroid that's going to destroy the Earth, well, then I can't protect against that. No one can. You know, you're just fucked in that situation. So there's no point in preparing. But you don't go by that. You prepare for what you can prepare for, hope for the best. But you prepare for the best, but you prepare for the worst as well. And if you can't prepare for the worst, you know there's nothing you can do about it, then that's that.
And I've won. But what's about to happen?
Sorry. You're probably gonna get pissed because I'm interrupting again. He's making that look like it's blood in the water. It's not fucking blood. It's algae and it's bacteria, and it's very it's extremely saline water. But those are the three things that turns water red like that. It's a specific type of algae. I can't remember the name. It's like Adelinus or Edelinus, and then there's a bacteria. And then you have the salinity of the water that's, you know, super saline, like extremely salty. And also that bacteria mixed with a large bit of sulfur and iron can do it also. And you can't drink it or anything, and it's very heavy water. But he's trying to make it look like, you know, the water's gonna turn to blood. Fuck off, dude.
It's bad. It's really bad. And this video is really fucking serious. This isn't something that's like satire. This isn't a video that I need people to share. My job as an intelligence specialist in the military was strategic strike. And so what that means is I was the person that was responsible for if this is point A, this is point B. So they would come to me and they would ask, hey, we want to go there and attack this area, what's the best way for us to go from here to there? And along the way, are there any bombs? Can we get in, like, are planes shot down? Are soldiers gonna get attacked? What's the best way to do this and carry out this little mission and get back safely? That was my job. So I always had to connect points along. It's kind of like Hansel and Gretel. I had to follow the breadcrumbs and figure out what was going on and let soldiers get back safely.
That doesn't even make any sense because he was in the Navy. He wasn't doing any fucking groundwork. He was in the Navy, and I know plenty of naval intelligence officers, and that's not what they did. I have family that are naval intelligence officers. Fuck this. I'm not gonna play him anymore. Fuck this guy.
Y'all remember this? I'm no conspiracy theorist or anything, but check this out. So I saw this video.
Did you see they just did some weird law with house insurance in California?
Yeah, they removed house insurance out there. State Farm is pulling out of that market. I kind of feel like something massive is going to happen. And not even 2 minutes later, this text message pops up. Pause to read.
Y'all thought that shit was cap, right? Peep this. Now y'all tell me, why is all of these major companies, bro? We talking about the pushers and movers of the, you feel me? Of the shits. Why are they leaving? Bro, all of the major stores in San Fran is closing down, bro. Yo, like, the Disney store, bro? Like, the Disney store's leaving? Yo, I really want y'all to think about this shit, bro. This is not normal. It's time for us to really pay attention. Pay attention to what's going on around you and your surroundings and shit. And wake up!
So that's similar to like what just happened recently, last week when 48 states all got snow at the same time. Insurance companies were saying, if you get into an accident, we're not going to pay for it because you shouldn't be out on the roads in these conditions anyways. So. And I thought that was crazy because, what the fuck do we pay you for this? This is why we pay you. But you can just decide. And this might have just been my state. I don't know how many states this happened in, but I know my state. They said if you're out driving in this and something happens, you're just fucked. You might as well not even have insurance because we're not paying for it because you shouldn't be out on the roads. So... yeah, that's crazy. That's showing that everybody's closing down because they know something's coming and they don't want to have to pay people for whatever it is.
Okay, everyone, this is the snow from today's little hailstorm that we had here in Ottawa on November 19th. So this is what it looks like. It looks like little balls. Now I'm going to crush it together. And it should melt in my hand, but there's nothing melting. Like, there's no water dripping from my hand whatsoever. It will just eventually evaporate. Now look what happens when we put a lighter to it. Do you notice there's no water dripping from it? This is chemically man-made. This is not real, folks.
So just to comment on that, the exact same thing happened with the snow we got last week. I was trying to work as an electronics technician before when I left pre-med and went into engineering. And I know what ozone smells like. And another guy mentioned this on a video. And I was thinking, I was like, why is it, 45 degrees today and everything is melted? But, there's like a a 4 by 8 foot long slab of ice, you know, because it sleeted, then snowed, then sleeted, so it compacted. And there was this, you know, just massive slab of ice right on the driver's side of my car in my driveway. And so, and I was like, that's weird that everything's melted but that. But also in my backyard, just the lining of my fence, the snow hadn't melted yet, but everything else had. And not only that, it was extremely hard. So I went out there and, you know, a couple times I used my shoe to just kind of, you know, punch it and break it up. And then I picked it up and I was looking at it and it wasn't melting in my hands at all, but also it smelled like ozone, like when there's a wire fire, like when you know like something, combination of like copper and plastic is burning, kind of what it smells like. And I was like, so I go to my buddy, I was like, smell this snow, dude. And he's like, the fuck is that? And I was like, it smells like ozone. I don't know what it is. I didn't try to burn it. I should have, but I just wasn't thinking about it at the time. But yeah, I just thought that was weird, you know, that everything had melted, the sun had been out, should have cooked all of that off. And it did cook most of the stuff off, but certain things just stayed. Like even on the sides of the roads, you know, everywhere I went, the sides of the roads, the snow had been pushed to the sides. And so there's like, you know, maybe 6 to 8 inches of, you know, this snow just right there on the edges of the roads everywhere. And I was like, that's really strange considering, you know, it's been a lot warmer for the last couple of days and everything else has melted off. Like when the real snow melted, my shed slash tiny house thing in the back with an aluminum roof, you know, the real snow melted off of that, and so, you know, it's just dripping water naturally. But this stuff, no, it didn't act like that at all. So I thought it was very strange.
Brother, when you get to a certain level, you're an artist, you're an entertainer, you're an athlete, you are a multimillionaire, billionaire, you have a high level of influence where anything that you say can change the perception, change the direction of the masses and what they're going to do, how they think, how they move. That's power, but it's also dangerous. They put a handler next to him to keep him in check. Harley Pasternak is a former Department of Defense special agent in the Canadian government. Number one, he's a nutritional scientist for the Department of Defense in the Canadian government. So he knows chemistry, how foods operate, but he knows certain drug techniques to use on human beings. He told Kanye, we're going to have a conversation, but we're not going to have a conversation where you're cursing or using profanity, and don't tell me about some stupid thing that your friend told you. The second option is, I can have you committed again. First of all, that's a threat to a psychiatric facility where you're going to be so doped up, playtime with the kids won't be the same. Wait a minute, you were the one that's sent into the psych ward in the first place. Now everybody can't say he's crazy. No, he is being handled by an agent who was sent to be right next to him to make sure that he doesn't get out of line. But Harley Pasternak also had other clients like Halle Berry, Jennifer Hudson, multiple clients. You need to look at this individual, and that is not somebody who should be around you. All of the artists, all of y'all have someone around you who is being sat next to you, who was sent there to keep you under control. That is a guaranteed fact. That I know. So you have to check all of the people around you and look at their military background if they have one. Look at their background to see what their area is when it comes to chemistry, their connections to hypnotists and hypnotherapy, all of this stuff. This is a very critical thing that we all should look at.
Creep on in, on in, on in.
the WEF, I'm against all of them. And, you know, you keep hearing them talking about reducing carbon, you know, carbon footprint. What a lot of people aren't realizing is we are the carbon they want to reduce. We are carbonated beings. We are made of carbon. We are the carbon footprint they're trying to reduce. It's in everything. The food, the jabs, your clothing, your toothpaste, your water, your plastic pipes, your non-BPA free plastic cups, just every little thing. And, you know, especially anyone that eats fast food, come on. Like, you're just doing that to yourself. You know, they're not even having to coerce you at all. You know, you're doing it to yourself. I go out of my way to make sure that the food that I buy is hormone free, you know, all this stuff, you know, and it costs a little bit more, yeah, but it's worth it. I'm not gonna, for one, I fast, so I don't have to eat all the time. And I don't eat, you know, 3, 4, 5 meals a day like a lot of people, you know, and I fast. So, and my family fasts. So, you know, it might cost a little bit more, but because we fast, you know, to get that clarity and cleanse ourselves and get those toxins out, it's almost a bit cheaper when you do it that way.
You see, in the ancient tablets, there was a situation where the Atlantean civilization had spread around the entire planet. Atlantis was built by these Anunnaki people, according to the ancient tablets, not according to me. And these families had factions and they were fighting each other. They went to war against each other many times. And in one case, this one faction or one side of the family came against another. And because they lost the battle, they were banished, locked and stuck pretty much on Earth, never to achieve space travel again. Over time, we have slowly regained our right to get back into space, and we now have done it. Obviously, in the last 100 years, we went from a horse, buggy, and carriage to putting remote control cars on Mars.
What's the deal with the free?
There's only a few real free that exist. In other words, when I say a few, I'm talking about maybe a few hundred, maybe at the at the top level that really know the ancient secrets. Okay. There's only a very small, and I do mean small, amount of people that really house and hold the true knowledge of the ancient past at the top level free. This goes all the way back to deep antiquity. We're talking about 30,000 plus years ago. There were these brick masons in ancient Kemet called the Shatu. After the Great Flood, Amun-Ra, aka Marduk, he's known as Marduk in the Bible. In Kemet, he was known as Amun-Ra. This is why people say Amen, actually. It's to him. He actually made it a rule, a law. But he had these brick masons helping him rebuild the land of Kem. And these brick masons had the secret knowledge of space flight, technologies, how to turn stone structures into advanced computer housing, data storage devices, as well as power generators and many other functions. A lot of the stone structures that were built were actually multifunctional stone computers.
Ancient uses of copper that your science teacher will never tell you about. Copper has more benefits for your body than it does for electricians. Depending on your use of copper depends on the type of benefits you get from it. Our ancestors used to use copper cups, which slows down aging. It brings the electricity from your body into the water so you can charge the water as you're drinking it. And it also stimulates the brain function. Another way to use copper is like this. These are called the rods of Mayat. You hold the copper in your right hand and the zinc in your left hand. The zinc is a negative charge and the copper is a positive charge, and it creates an electrical flow through your whole body. People also wrap crystals with copper. The copper is a conduit for the transferring of energy from the crystal to the person wearing it. It boosts your electromagnetic field. As we all know, this is your aura. So by wearing copper, you can enhance the electrical flow in your...
Before I cover the emerald stone of Lucifer, we have to understand that Lucifer and Satan are two separate beings. Through the act of unnatural and singular reproduction, Lucifer created Satan, or Yaldabaoth, or the Demiurge. Now, legend has it Lucifer had a single emerald on her crown, possessing great powers. It fell from her crown and she jumped to earth after it, searching far and wide for the two pieces as it broke in half when it fell to earth. Legend has it Thoth found one half, which we now call today the Emerald Tablets. And legend also has it that it is the emerald in the Holy Grail. Now Lucifer represents the black sun that slowly ascends from the center of the earth, creating the aurora borealis, when her and the Son of God reflect off of each other's magnetic fields. But don't tell Santa, because apparently this is the truth behind the real North Pole.
That's pretty interesting, but if you think about it, if you're talking about the 200 fallen angels, then you've got 6 major players. You've got Satan, Lucifer, Baal, Baphomet, the T1, Moloch, Raziel, which is the leader, or Raziel, that's the leader of the 200 fallen. Well, Lucifer is the leader, but Raziel is second in command. So that's just what I've come to know, but who knows if that's real or not.
One of the wealthiest men on planet Earth understands this one thing, so why don't you? Jack Dorsey, the original creator and CEO of Twitter, actually lives right down the street from me, and I've seen him walking, and it's more important that we all understand where he lives and why. First, understand that most countries and societies in the world have literally been designed to take away your power by poisoning the food, the water, even our clothes that have chemicals, and the air. They literally sneak toxic poisons into all of our products, and then they make them cheaper on the shelf so that people will buy them. But pay attention, because most importantly, they are doing this to keep the most pure products from the source of nature, a commodity for the rich, isolated away from the general population. There are only 5 blue zones in the planet, and I've been living in one the past 6 months. These are areas in the world where people live way longer, and scientists have tried to study, and they say it's because of the food, the water, the quality of the air, the biodiversity. But after living in a blue zone, what I've realized, it's actually much more than all of these things. It is the energy. It is the life source energy that we come from. You see, prana, otherwise known as chi in China and Japan, is our life source energy, and it comes from the sun, the earth, the air, and our water. If they disconnect us from this source, then we lose our essence as a creator. Oh, look. Now, if you're ready to tune into your natural essence as a creator, you also must be ready for a higher you. So are you ready?
All right. That was probably one of my favorite videos, because he goes into a lot of important stuff in a very short amount of time, where I would just elongate that because I would get too in depth. But yeah, everything he's saying is 1000% true and real, and you don't have to worry about aliens. You've got fucked up people that rule and run this world, this hell on earth that we're living in. And they're keeping us in, they're trying to keep us in this cycle, but we're waking up now. That's the most beautiful thing. And I love the comments. I love hearing, about people that are waking up, and hearing that, I've helped them realize things, or I've said things that have helped them. That makes my entire soul, my entire being just gleam and smile. I love it. But everything he said is extremely important. So be cautious of everything you do, because it's every aspect they're hitting us from every single side. So you've got to know how to best alleviate all of those things that they're trying to do. And the fact that we're going through this shift right now, and this shift has been happening for years, but it has to happen slowly. It cannot happen fast, just like all of this information. You have to take spoonful by spoonful. You can't have it shoved down your throat, or else it's not going to take properly, So all of the things that we're going through right now are good things. Yeah, it's going to be a fucked up year. It seems like there's a lot of crazy stuff on the horizon. Everything from what's happening with our borders to, extraterrestrials, to our own people, to governance and law and food and air and water. I mean, so control what you can control. Do your best to control what you have control over, and everything else, you're not going to have control over it. So I do my best to arm myself, eat well, or eat proper things, you know, and just try to. I don't watch. One thing I cut out years ago was I don't have cable. I do not watch cable TV at all because I watch what I want to watch. And so does my family. You know, I don't watch mainstream news. I don't watch mainstream programming. I don't watch any of that. You know, if I'm watching something, it's something that I'm interested in and I'm trying to research. But other than that, I don't watch any of that crap. So I cut that out like 6-7 years ago. One of the best things that I could have done for myself and my family. So, yeah, hope you guys love this. If you did, hit me that subscribe, like, and please comment. I love interacting with all of you. Hope you guys like this. There's a lot more coming. This is just, you know, the tip, and I didn't want to make this a 3-hour long video because, you know, I am a working man. I've got to work in the morning just like everybody else. So, hope you guys enjoyed it. Show me some love, and I'll see you on the next one.